everyone, my name is Angela. You may recognize me from my other YouTube channel, Fictional Fangirl. If so, hey! Also, I'm sorry. Why do you keep putting up with me? Are you okay? This is my brand new YouTube channel, and I just wanted this first YouTube video of mine on this channel. Words. Oh my gosh, I'm not that popular, but for some reason I keep dinging right now. I wanted this first video on my channel to be kind of why I decided to make this channel. I wanted it to be why I decided to make this channel video. Kind of an introduction, if you will, to this. When I was in high school, I think I was in 11th grade, I was diagnosed with, I love my friends. And normally, I love when I get messages, but I'm busy, people, I'm busy. When I was in high school, I think it was like 11th grade, I was diagnosed with lupus, systemic lupus erythematosus, or however you say that. And that is an autoimmune disease. Before my diagnosis, I was actually a pretty active kid. I played softball, I ran around the neighborhood until the streetlights came on every single day, riding bikes, racing, playing games. You know, I was very active. We were outside a lot because my parents were like, look, I'm tired of you, go outside. They had 4 kids. They were overrun. I was in show choir, so I danced on stage and sung a lot. The point is, I was healthy, I was active. And I had dreams. I was a dreamer. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to work with animals, specifically like a zookeeper or some kind of like rehabilitator where I rescue animals and nurse them back to life. I wanted to be a teacher. And ever since I was a child, I also wanted to be an author. Well, then I got sick. I dropped like 20 or 30 pounds in like a month, which was good for my self-esteem. But I was very, very sick. And in the long run, it actually wasn't good for my self-esteem because everyone kept complimenting me on how good I looked. But the only reason I looked good is because I felt horrible. It really wasn't good on my self-esteem. My hair was falling out in fistfuls. I remember I was telling my best friend that my hair fell out, but everyone's hair falls out, right? But I remember this one time we were at my grandmother's house and she was brushing my hair and there was just like this pile of hair around me and I think she finally got, oh, no, your hair is falling out, which was not good for my self-esteem because I couldn't wear my hair down in school because when I would get up after class, there would just be a pile of hair around my desk and that was so embarrassing. So I had to wear my hair in like this tight bun thing so none of the hair would escape and leave a trail. If I committed any crimes, they would have caught me instantly. DNA everywhere. My joints were swollen and painful. In fact, that was one of the first symptoms I had. I was still playing softball and I like literally tossed a ball, something I've done hundreds of times in my life. Never hurt my wrist before. Suddenly my wrist swelled up, hurt so bad, had to wear a brace. I lied to everyone and told them like I was attempting like some kind of fast pitch even though I wasn't a pitcher. And I was like, yeah, I was training to be a pitcher. But no, I just literally like tossed the ball and then my wrist was like, nope. Swollen lymph nodes all over, fevers, the face redness, you know, the butterfly rash or whatever it's called, malar rash. We didn't know what was going on, we just knew something was wrong. I remember going to my doctor and my doctor telling my mom we were going to start with the absolute worst scenario and work our way down. The worst was we were going to check for lymphoma, which is a type of cancer. And then the second worst was going to be we were going to check for lupus. Thankfully, I did not have lymphoma, but it was lupus. And they sent me to a pediatric rheumatologist. I had to actually travel like 2.5, 3 hours to, oh my gosh. So I'm so sorry about the dings. They're just gonna live there because I have 3 devices and I don't want to get up and mute them all. Lazy. I had to drive like 2.5, 3 hours to a pediatric rheumatologist in Pensacola, Florida, because in my area, there were no pediatric rheumatologists, and no normal rheumatologist would touch me because I was under 18. And that is where I got my official diagnosis. I didn't really understand what that meant at the time, an official diagnosis. My doctors kept telling me and my mom that I needed to go to therapy, that I needed a support group, and I was like, I'm good, I'm fine. But I just didn't grasp it. Everyone was like, I'm really impressed with how well she's doing. You know, if I had that, I would be so depressed. But the reality is, I just didn't get it. I think maybe I was too young. I was handling it well, but really, I was just either not dealing with it, maybe, or just not understanding that my whole life was changing. While I was in high school, I want to say my life felt normal for the most part. And I do want to make life with like a lupus in high school video, because there are definite trials and tribulations. I want to watch Princess and the Frog, but that's another story. Hi, I'm Angela. I can't focus on one thing at a time. I definitely want to make like a lupus in high school, lupus in college video to help, parents or younger kids, because I went through it. So maybe my experience can help shine some light on what other people may be going through. But I digress. Felt normal in the sense that I got up every day. I had a routine. I had friends. I had social interaction. I wasn't allowed to stay outside in between classes, even though I did anyways. But if the nurse caught me, I would get in trouble because I would get like sun rashes or heat rashes. Constantly exhausted and fatigued, so that affected my grades, my ability to pay attention. So grade-wise, didn't do good. But other than a lot of sick days and doctor visits, it felt normal. I had a lot of social interaction. I had great friends. I had a lot of fun. But then high school got over and I started junior college. And it was rough for me. Exhaustion and fatigue made lectures harder, and the material itself was harder than high school, so I wasn't even able to pay attention, and I barely scraped by in high school. And honestly, I think some of the teachers took pity on me in high school. And so like now in an actual college atmosphere where the curriculum is harder and you really need to focus, and I just couldn't. And my health just kept snowballing. It just kept getting worse and worse. I was working full-time. I was a full-time student. So the stress of work and the stress of school just kept piling on top of me. And then suddenly, my body couldn't take it anymore. Lupus said, girl, no. I couldn't roll over in bed. I could not sit myself up. I could not feed myself. My mom or my boyfriend had to brush my hair, had to put my hair up in a ponytail. My mom or my boyfriend had to literally spoon feed me. I had to quit work. I had to quit school so that my body could try to heal, because my rheumatologist at the time, he's like, I'm not going to keep writing you sick notes for your work. You might as well just quit. And so my mom was like, well, does she need disability? And he's like, no. She lives at home with you. She's fine. And I was like, my mom can't support me, but you want me to quit? Like, we're not that financially good, yo. But in order to do what was best, or what I thought was best for my body, I quit work. I quit school. But what I thought was best for me ended up being terrible for me in a mental health capacity. Like, it was bad on my mental health. The next few years, the only social interaction I had was my immediate family, my cousin, and my boyfriend. I was trapped in a bubble of, like, physical pain and loneliness. Even though I got through that initial terrible flare and I was able to... Oh, I switched doctors, by the way. Because even when I couldn't move, he was like, oh, I don't think you have lupus. So I went and got a second opinion, and they're like, you have lupus, and they put me on a new medicine, and I was able to move again. But I had inflammation in my spine and in my hip. So it got to a point where I was in so much physical pain that I couldn't walk from, like, my bedroom to the kitchen without having to stop midway in the dining room and sit down and basically cry because I was in so much pain. And all I could think of during these years after I quit school and work was my dream of being a teacher is over because I can't do school anymore. I had to quit. My dream of being a rock star is over because I can barely use my hands. I can't play instruments. I can't, tour the world. I have no energy. I can't take care of animals. I can't be outside. And so the only dream that I had left, which was honestly the core dream that I've had my entire life, was to be an author. But I kept repeating the same thing over and over in my head. What is the point? My hands hurt so bad I can barely type. So what is the point? I can barely stare at the screen without trying to fall asleep because of the fatigue, so what is the point? I'm sick and I'm broken and stuck at home needing help with anything and everything, so what is the point? And that question followed me in more than just my writing. What is the point of brushing my hair? What is the point of washing my hair? No one else is gonna see me. I'm stuck inside the house. What is the point of taking a shower? I'm too tired. It makes me exhausted. No one is going to smell me. I'm stuck inside my house. What is the point of brushing my teeth? What is the point of eating healthy? What is the point of trying anything new or meeting new people? What is the point? So I went through a long, dark period of wake up, lay in bed, watch YouTube, go to bed, repeat. And that went on for quite a while. I don't remember timeline, days, months, years. I don't remember. Sorry. I'm old now. Well, one day I was laying in bed, obviously, and my cousin Marissa called me and was like, hey, our friend just moved back into town. You remember him. He's doing Dungeons and Dragons, gonna have some people over. You should come see him. It's been a while. And I was like, nah. But she kept bugging me about it the next couple of weeks, and she told me all their shenanigans, and I had to admit it sounded actually really hilarious and fun. And when I was in high school, I had a boyfriend who tried to get me to play Dungeons and Dragons, but then he showed me the rule book, and it was like this giant textbook, and I was like, yeah, I'm not reading that. But I always secretly really wanted to play, so I was like, she was like, well, just come and watch. Just come and watch. And I was like, I really haven't seen this friend in so long. I really do miss him. I'll go watch. So I got up, I washed my hair, I put on makeup, and I got dressed, and I went just to watch. But I got there, and I ended up creating a character, and I had the most fun I have had in so long. And come to find out, they do this every week. So I went from not showering, not moving, not doing anything, not looking forward to anything for I don't know how long, to once a week, washing my hair, brushing my hair, putting on makeup, getting dressed, and having social interaction. It became a routine for me. And it wasn't long until I was counting the days until I could go play Dungeons and Dragons again. It was just hanging out with all these old friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and these brand new friends, and this insane, fun, creative atmosphere. It was just such a bright light and such a dark time in my life. And then this once a week Dungeons and Dragons turned into, hey, you want to meet up for dinner? Hey, do you want to go watch a movie together? Hey, let's have another session this week. Hey, let's get together and be creative. Make a short film. And I have created the best friendships ever from Dungeons and Dragons. So this is the story of how, quite literally, Dungeons and Dragons have saved my life. All of that. And I'm getting to the point of why I made this channel, I promise. So I still have days where I have my doubt, but my bright days are much more often. But back in September of 2018, sorry if the camera moved. So anyways, back in September of 2018, my health took a turn for the worse. I started having some pretty scary symptoms, really scary symptoms. I haven't been able to breathe well since September. You might see me trying to catch my breath every once in a while. And there's just a million other things happening. And so my new rheumatologist because all my doctors just keep moving away. I'm cursed or something. My most recent rheumatologist says, well, I'm going to start you on this new medication. And I go to the pharmacy to pick it up, and the pharmacist quite literally told me to hold on to the counter before she told me how much it cost. It was, I can't remember the exact number, but it was over $3,000. And that's never going to happen. So what is the point? And after the new year, after the new year, as if this happened a long time ago, last week, my left arm, my left side of my face, and my tongue went numb. Went to the ER, and nothing showed up on the MRI, but that does not mean it was not a mini stroke, and I am being treated as if it were a mini stroke, which terrifies me, because if it is a mini stroke, that means you're at a greater risk for like the next so much span of time to have a full-blown stroke, which is so scary to me. So I'm kind of just sitting here constantly in my mind waiting, like, I could have a stroke at any moment. I could literally have a stroke at any moment. That's just anytime I have like peace of mind, that's just where my mind goes. So I'm trying to keep myself busy. Or, best case scenario, and I don't see my rheumatologist until later this month, or next month, sorry. That could be lupus causing inflammation in my brain, which could be putting pressure on my nerves. But this new medication that's supposed to be helping with inflammation is over $3,000. So what is the point? And so now finally we're getting into why I decided to make this channel. I'm sorry it took me so long to get there. I just wanted a little bit of a backstory. Now, this channel was originally going to be something much different than what it's going to be now. Originally, this was going to be like a health journey, and I was going to call it Losing Lupus. In fact, I can't remember, but I think I might have actually made a channel called Losing Lupus. It might be out there in the atmosphere. I don't think I ever uploaded on it. But that was going to be me centered around losing weight and trying to lose lupus. But that has changed, obviously. Ever since I was a teenager, lupus has been a part of who I am. It took me a while to realize my life was different because of lupus. But now, 2019, I think I finally understand that my life is different because of lupus. It is a part of who I am. It's kind of a sucky part of who I am. But if you want to look at the silver lining, it makes you a little bit stronger. Makes you harder. Since my health has been declining recently, I am still making these healthy lifestyle choices. Like, I still want to lose weight, but that's not what this channel is about. I want to remember the point. I have been alive, but I have not been living. I have been stuck in a vicious cycle of just surviving and a whole lot of what is the points. So I've been doing a lot of surviving but not living. I want to chase my dreams. I want to have adventures. I want to live, and I don't want to use lupus as an excuse not to do it, or not necessarily, I don't mean that as in if someone asks me to do something and I say I can't, I'm too sick today. That's an excuse, but that might be the truth. Not like in that excuse, in an excuse for myself. I don't want to tell myself that I can't do it because of lupus. Like, if you're watching this and I tell you I can't hang out because of my lupus, like, that's probably for real, I'm being honest. I'm too tired. But I don't want to tell myself I can't be a writer because of lupus. I can't go do this thing because of lupus. Does that make sense? So this channel is dedicated to me and my journey, following my dreams, going on adventures, all while having lupus. And I want to talk to you guys. Maybe you also have lupus or a chronic illness. Maybe you can #relate. Maybe we can help each other out because it's hard. So I hope you'll stick around and follow me along as I try to remember what the point is. And as I start living with lupus. Did you see what I did there? I put the channel name in there.